I'm directing this specifically to any Matalan historians in the audience. 1, how long has Matalan been a store? 2, how did it survive the 2008 financial crash? 3, what do you actually sell? I don't know what Matalan does.
No, I can't.
I know it exists.
How the hell was I meant to know when it's 10 seconds?
You just start talking.
I was just counting. Oh, God.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a legit 10 seconds. It can just be some time, and then you just start talking.
Maybe we should just like maybe every 10 seconds we should just count like Beyonce's top singles, top best songs in our head, and that will take us to like 10 seconds, right? Let's
take someone who's uneducated in Beyonce 10 seconds. It would probably take me about 10 months.
The shade. Hey, she has some good songs. I can name some. There's Baby Boy, Deja Vu, Freedom, Partition, Say My Name with Destiny's Child, Crazy in Love, Beautiful Lie with Shakira,
Wow.
Freakum
How
Dress,
have you stopped?
Green Lights, and Single Ladies.
Okay, you got 10 in the end.
Yeah.
But it took you far too long.
Hey, I'm trying, girl. Give me a minute.
Disrespectful.
Well, another day. Welcome back to the 802 on another day.
Welcome on board.
Welcome
the
on board.
802. We are going from... Are we going London to Liverpool or Liverpool to London?
No, I
today?
feel this week we're going Liverpool to London because
Okay.
I feel like it's time we take a trip down south.
Well, welcome to down south.
Yes.
The sun is shining. The
Yes.
birds are singing. Everything is great and groovy, except for everything that's not. But we'll go into that later.
I have to admit though, the service on the 802 is beautiful this week. We had a lovely little woman on the front of the coach giving away snacks. What was the snacks?
Me.
Oh, you're a meal. We're
Ah.
meals. So let's break down this real quick, right? Hors d'oeuvres are the ones you send back home with after you get the do and they get their Uber home. Snacks are the ones you call up on a regular, and the meals are the one that stays. Get it,
Then I'm
girl.
definitely not a meal.
Stop it.
I'm an hors d'oeuvre to a snack. I might be a dessert, but
Ooh.
yeah, don't expect the main course over here.
I feel like I'm a tree bird roast. I feel like I have the body for the gravy, the body for the main meal, and I probably have like the body for the dessert. So I'm definitely a tree bird roast. Like, is it a duck, a chicken, and a pheasant? That's what I think it is.
Yeah, but you understand that a 3-bird roast isn't a starter, main, and dessert.
I
right,
mean,
babe?
we can pretend. I mean, unless you're getting spit roasted, which is a whole different ball game.
Whoa, okay. Should we do the intro? Should we do an actual intro?
Yes.
Okay. Hi guys, you are listening to the 802 with me, Dan.
And it's me, Nick Charles, coming from Liverpool to London on the 802, and we are taking you in the ride of your life for the next 45 minutes. Hopefully 45 minutes, an hour. Who knows? We don't know.
Welcome on board. There's one thing I want to do. So I want to add a little segment right at the start.
Yes.
And I don't know what to call it. It's essentially, there's a bunch of people doing amazing things, like putting out work, supporting us, and we support them, that I just think every week we'll do a little shout out about.
Yes.
Now I was thinking of like names for this segment, and I was like, well, the 802 is a coach. So what do they call the like little shout out announcements on the coach, on like a coach trip?
Yeah.
So I did some research, and it turns out that they're called announcements.
Stop it.
Which, creative and inventive. So for this week only, I'm calling them the announcements.
Yeah.
And then next week, I'll have a better name for this section. But so I just wanted to shout out some things before we kick off. First of all, we will get into All Stars 5, I'm sure, a little bit later. But I was in a reaction to All Stars 2 with my mate Murad. So if you go on YouTube and you search Murad Reacts, you can find our reaction video out there. He's also got another channel, Murad Murali, on YouTube. He's killing it every single day. He literally just passed 100k subscribers.
Amazing.
So go check out Murad. If anyone is looking for some black hair care, if you need to know the best products, I'm going to send you to Black Hair Goals UK on Instagram. That is run by my mate Fumi. She has linked me up with some excellent products. She is out here. She is repping for black-owned brands. So if you want to do more than just share stuff on Instagram, if you actually want to support Black Lives Matter and you want to support black business, go on Black Hair Goals UK, check out what they're saying, get some recommendations, buy from some black-owned brands.
Yes.
And my last announcement, welcome to the final announcement on the coach. I told my brother that I'd shout out. He's been supporting every single week. Probably the most excited for a next episode out of anybody I know. So Phil, my older brother, you get your shout out. There you go. I did it. You can stop asking me now.
We love shout outs. We love it.
We love it.
So I actually have to say a shout out to Stephen and the guys that bear with me, because we were actually meant to be on their show on Sunday, but a lot of stuff happened, which I have to declare with Stephen later today, which I couldn't attend because I was hungover. I was a mess. That's why, but we'll talk about it later. But Stephen and the guys, Stephen and Mark from Bear With Me on, they have their own podcast, and they're two lovely guys, and we will be on their show very soon, hopefully. If it doesn't kill me.
Because they'll actually have us, because one of us was too hungover to take part.
He loves me. I love him too.
Hey, and that concludes the announcements.
Yeah. Maybe we can get like what? I wonder what's the French name for announcement, because I think like anything in French sounds
Annoncement.
Ooh, announcement.
The French name for announcement. I would put money on it being
I almost said something else, and I was just like, Nick, no.
Were you about to say something shady?
I almost called it Mama Nounce, but that sounds so weird.
Mama Nounce.
Mama Nounce, no.
Yeah, let's not for that.
No, that like statue Nounce last week.
Oh, well. Should we get into it?
Oh, God, go on then.
Okay, right. So this week, I got to tell you about a little thing. Little thing happened in London Way. I don't know if you're watching the news.
Oh, God.
But we had a few little protests this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, for the last few weeks, we've been in the streets protesting, reminding people that Black Lives Matter, that our lives aren't disposable, that you can't just kill us, and that you can't also just say you support us but not do the work to support us, which has, it's ruffled some feathers.
That does.
Feathers have been ruffled.
I feel like more like shake the cages. Like,
well,
like
I'd agree with you that the cage has been shook, except that none of the people who got shook are actually exist within a cage and are free to do whatever the hell they want whenever they want. So basically, if you didn't see, there was a counter protest that happened in London this Saturday. And by counter protest, I think we really need to put this in context of that. The Black Lives Matter protests are anti-racism protests. They are people protesting for the dignity and the rights of all black people to be respected, specifically by law enforcement, but wider, just in generally in every area. Our race should not discredit us or not allow us to participate in anything that we choose to participate in.
True.
There's no hidden agenda. There's no black supremacy angle. No one's like, none of the white people are allowed to do anything anymore. But obviously this message is so offensive that Dave and Keith and Stu and what other names are there?
John F and John B and Derek and Ian and Adam. Ugh.
I'm sure there's someone in there called Chugsy.
Yeah.
Like people who refer to them as last name but put a ZY on the end.
Yeah.
Like Jonesy.
Because they can't spell it. They don't know what an S and a Z is as well. So.
They didn't look. You can't learn spelling if you don't stay in school. And obviously the education system has failed these poor people because basically a bunch of 45-year-old white men decided to gather in their H&M basics and turn up in.
I think it more looks like an Asda George. I don't think they can afford H&M basics.
Big George vibes, like someone's been at F&F in Tesco.
Yes, it's or even they have like a Matalan like store card. You know, just
does Matalan still do clothes?
Yes, they do.
What do Matalan sell?
You know what? I this might sound like a shock to you. I have never actually stepped foot in a Matalan because the storefront itself scares me. It looks like a 5-year-old GCSE child did it on a wall. It's so terrible. It's like red paint on white. It's like red paint on white flexifilm. It's like, girl, you have been standing as a proud store for so long. I can't say really proud, but wherever you are. And it's like your font has been the same. Like, what? Like, do you even have an Instagram?
Well, first of all, so how long has Matalan existed? These are the questions we want to know.
Yeah, we want to know.
So I'm directing this specifically to any Matalan historians in the audience. 1, how long has Matalan been a store? 2, how did it survive the 2008 financial crash? 3, what do you actually sell? I don't know what Matalan does.
No,
I know it exists. I know people would get sad if it didn't, but I don't know what you can buy there.
I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you.
In my head, it's like Argos. Is it Argos?
No, I feel like it's more like, oh God, it reminds me of like, when you go to like those really small towns and the charity shops are like doing the most to get you to buy. That's what they remind me of. They have nothing to appeal to me. Everything in there looks either broken, sold, or destroyed or found on Gumtree. But it just feels like a shop of broken dreams.
Matalan, if you're listening, we do accept sponsorships.
Yeah, we do accept sponsorship, but anyway.
I think that was a perfect ad for Matalan.
There's a perfect ad.
What was I saying? So yeah, the Matalan loyalty card holders decided to group together, and their mission, their great calling in life on this day, was to defend the statues that were being so damaged and distraught and brought down by these looters and rioters and violent protesters who are literally just turning up to remind you that we matter and that you can't just kill us. So this is the context, okay? You've got hundreds of sunburnt white men descending on central London to protect statues. And remember when all the Black Lives Matter protests were happening, they were definitely the ones on Twitter being like, they should respect the police and they should send the army in and everybody should get shot. That's the vibe we're going for. So they drop in. The Black Lives Matter protest that they were going there to defend the statues against was cancelled.
A statue.
I was disappointed. I was going to go, but it was
for the best.
Instead, everybody shared information on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and then there was donations and people signed petitions and like made their voice heard in a way that wasn't going to rile up Keith and his buddies. But Keith and his buddies were not happy enough with that, so they gathered in a group. They hit the local Tesco and cleared it out of Stella. I would put money on within maybe a half-mile radius, a full circle around these people, you could not find one can of Stella Artois left in the shop. Okay? They decided they were going to go down. They were going to get blisteringly pissed. Also, it's like the morning. They did this in the morning.
Yeah.
Which means they came down on the train, probably already pissed.
Yeah.
Then they gathered around these statues, except they didn't gather around the statues because the police were already there protecting the statues. Not from us, what I can tell, but from this like self-identified statue protection force. The Statue Protection Force, the SPF. There you go. Which is something you all needed. I know not one of you was putting on sun cream. Would you agree? Could you imagine if there was no anybody?
Sun cream there? You know what's interesting? apart from like everyone like drinking a Stella. Did you see the picture of the one guy with his pink gin, Gordon's G&T?
I did see her.
I was like, yes for you. He was like, I'm just gonna stand here and try to blend in. Girl, we saw you. We spot you.
You may be terrible, but you've got taste.
Yeah, you may be terrible, you got taste.